up, y'all?
Welcome
to the J&O Show,
where we talk about
men use logic as a weapon. Proudly.
Bruh.
I have a couple of clips here talking about logic and men and dealing with women and their emotion stuff. And at the end, Stephan Speaks ties it up all in a nice little bow so we can have some understanding and some patience with dealing with people who may be acting irrational at the moment.
Yeah.
But don't worry, I got some tips for you.
Yes. We're going to go ahead and push play.
I used to have this mental illness where I thought that logical arguments would change someone's mind. Yeah, I really thought if I laid out the facts calmly, clearly, they'd just go, oh, wow, you're right. I've completely reevaluated my entire belief system. Thank you, mighty king. No, instead they double down and bring up a Facebook article from 2014 written by someone named Patriot Mama 87. You know, I've learned that some people will just argue with you no matter what. Like they're getting paid per brain cell they ignore. You can't hit people with scientific data, 5 peer-reviewed studies, proven evidence, and they'll still say,
But you know what? This is funny, but it's not.
Yeah,
because it's really true.
Yeah, I was about to say, why is it funny to us and also really true to us? Why?
Because like people will really like stand on them just being wrong and just be like, no. It doesn't matter what science you have, what type of common sense it makes. No. Just no. Just cause I feel that way.
Our comment section be wild. I've seen some of y'all in the comment section telling people that say certain things and just be like, are you stupid?
I don't even know you, but I'm going to tell you that's dumb.
You stupid.
What are you, stupid?
Ain't you? You must not be subscribed. I can tell. I can smell you walking in here. You unsubscribed people out there. Yeah, I appreciate those of y'all who have just stood up for when we use logic. I appreciate that.
We understand that common sense ain't so common. Yeah, so thank you for those who exhibit common sense.
Thank you.
still say, well, I just feel like, oh, okay, we're going off feelings now. Well, I feel like you're wasting my time. Yeah. And my favorite is when they say something like, agree to disagree. There's no disagreeing about gravity. You're just wrong, and that's okay. It happens. So now I just sip my drink and say true, no matter what they say. Aliens are in Congress? True. The earth is shaped like a Dorito? So true. Trying to talk sense into some people is like trying to reboot a toaster with a software update. It's not equipped for that. It's not happening. I used to have this mental illness where I thought...
I like the fact that he called it a mental illness, though. I used to have this mental illness. All right, y'all. So I know I said this in the video I just shot. I don't know if you're going to see this one first or that one. Here's the thing. You got emotions, you got logic. Some people call it common sense, but it's really logic. Emotions are supposed to follow your logic, not lead it. That's the real difference. You're supposed to figure out what makes sense and then become emotionally attached to what you figured out.
You know what that's called too? That everybody like using nowadays?
What?
Being emotionally intelligent.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes, there are more aspects to emotional intelligence than just that. I get it. You know, nowadays women, we want men to be able to express how they're feeling.
Yeah, right.
We want you to know why you feel the way that you feel.
I don't believe you.
She said in the argument, men use logic as a weapon. But because it's logic. Kind of like common sense. It's yeah.
Okay. What you think about this?
I've heard many things. And we talk about how men and women are wired differently. I don't think I've ever heard a woman say that you use logic as a weapon.
That's a new one.
That's wild, y'all.
I've never heard that one before.
That's wild.
Yeah.
But all is not lost. Stephan Speaks, come talk to us.
Men tend to forget that women typically are emotionally wired or more emotionally wired.
Yeah.
And so what happens is when she comes to you and expresses a concern, if that concern does not line up in your head logically, men tend to dismiss it. Okay.
Facts.
And they don't consider how she's.
Don't do that, y'all.
Bad idea.
Look, We talk about peace a lot. Don't do that. Don't just dismiss it. Yes, it might be stupid.
Possibly.
You got to understand, y'all not the same.
We wired different. We are.
You don't want to be the same because
no, you don't.
that would be bad for you too. Trust me on this one, but I don't know if you got anything to say. I just been reacting to the foolishness that we've been watching. So.
Oh man.
How she's feeling. And I want men to understand, you have to learn that we have to accept men and women are different. We are just built differently, and in understanding our differences, we can create more harmony with each other. When that woman...
Yes, bars.
That's cool, bars!
Understand the differences, okay? So we can create that harmony.
Yep.
Yes, Stephan Speaks.
Yeah. So I told you he was coming to save us. I told you. Now, here's the thing. Logically, it makes sense for you to understand that y'all different. You process information differently. We used to watch a neuroscientist by the name of Caroline Leaf.
Yeah, Dr. Caroline Leaf.
And she explained that the pathways that information enters our mind is different from men to women.
Yes.
Women, it enters and goes through their emotional center first, and then it goes to their logic center. When men, it goes to their logic center first, then through their emotional center. Also, there are more connections in the brain of a woman to her emotional side. There are more connections in the brain for the men to their logical side. So there are actual biological differences between men and women and how we actually process emotion.
Yes.
Yes, you can be taught out of it, right? Depending on your environment, you can learn to use one side more or the other, depending on your environment. So there is nature and then there's nurture in place. But as a guy, I want to give it to you scientifically. They're not crazy. Now, this is my own personal thing.
And ladies, they're not stupid.
This is my own personal thing. Okay, this is my own personal thing. This ain't something that I looked up. This is something I be thinking. I be thinking.
What you be thinking?
THANKIN apostrophe. Thinking. I was wondering, why are women more emotional? Why does it make sense? Guys, think back. Y'all can follow me with Andrew Tate. We going back in the day, right? Men, we out there hunting, bringing stuff home for them to chop up, cook so that everybody can eat. What do we need to develop?
Up, baby, come on!
Right? So we can go and do what we got to do, bring home something to eat. We got to run. We got to tackle stuff. We might have to choke out an antelope or something. You know, this is what you're developing, right? The women are at home. They have the kid. They're making food. What do they have to develop?
Think about it.
For those of you who are parents, being able to tell the difference between the cries of an infant. I'm serious.
That's a special skill set.
There's a reason why women are more emotionally wired. There's also a reason why women mature faster, because that faster maturity just happens to line up to the time when they are perfectly suited and fertile to have children. Yes. So I think, just me thinking, making common sense. Well, maybe this connection to emotion and this faster maturity is because they have a biological clock where they have to have children by a certain time and to be able to connect to them and protect them.
Well, that sounds reasonable enough.
Doesn't that make sense?
It's possible.
That makes sense.
Ain't that right? He ain't lying.
So that means if we want children in the family, we might have to deal with a woman who's emotional because she is built to be emotional for the betterment of our family unit. It all makes sense now.
Well, now it makes sense.
Don't it?
Just a thought. I'm not saying I got scientific evidence. It's just something, I'll be thinking.
I was going to say, and I can't remember who I was watching one time, but they were saying, I haven't actually looked into this, but I wouldn't be surprised. I think it's because of one of the doctor visits we had with the kids, but they were saying that women see more color.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah, I heard that one too. Yes.
I can't remember what happened with one of the kids. We had to take him to the doctor for something. And I was talking about the color of their skin and how I noticed like the different colors. And Jermaine was just like, what?
What?
And the doctor, they came out and said it was like, well, it was like women, they tend to see more colors. And I think that's one of the reasons why we can notice those subtle differences with our, with our kids and different things of that nature. Like if they're looking too pale, too red, something a little too off or whatever, we tend to notice those things. So I thought that was interesting.
And here's the weird thing. I do not believe that all women should have children. I do not believe that all women should get married, but the tools were still developed in our species for you to be able to do those things efficiently in a different way than a man would.
True.
Woman says to you, this is how I feel. It's not about your logic at that point, bruh. It's about how she feels.
That means be quiet and listen. Okay?
That was unnecessary.
All right. And you got to tap into that in that moment. And if you say, well, how do I know she's not lying? Listen, if she's a good woman otherwise, then there's no reason to assume it's a lie right now. All right. If you know she has not been a problem for you, then don't project that negativity on her. So many women feel dismissed and devalued because as men, again, we keep focusing on logic, but
this is what happens when you out there in the streets. If you're on the highway. This is what happened for the guys when y'all in the streets, man. Y'all lose patience.
Yes.
Because you get tired of dealing with these women, but there's no built up value from a woman if you're just jumping from woman to woman to woman. Built up value from a woman comes with establishing a family and a home and seeing her value as she starts to bring that home that you're providing for to life. That's where the value comes from. A lot of women try to figure out why when they get older, they don't have the same value on the dating market as they do if they had a family, because the things that make you valuable to a man as time passes, you don't have when you're on the dating market. Right. You only have that if you establish a home with that man.
Yes, it's like fine wine. It gets better with time. Okay, just remember that. I don't drink wine, but I'm just letting you know. Maybe on occasion, once in a while when they're. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
They're talking about their emotion, what they're feeling.
Yeah.
And that's real. Right. It may not be real to you in that moment, but that danger or her uncomfortableness in that moment is real to her. So you have to meet her there.
Okay. Brother speaks. I agree with that. Yeah, well, that was a lot. Comment your thoughts below and let us know what you think. And if you guys made it this far, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, turn on your post notifications, and give us a thumbs up, okay? It helps with the algorithm, and it lets YouTube know that you appreciate what we're putting down.
What we're putting down?
Hey, everybody. Down in the description, there are 2 links.
One is to a GoFundMe, and the other one is to a video that explains what the GoFundMe is for. Long story short, we have a medical situation with our daughter that we have to pay for everything out of pocket, and we could really use you guys' help. If you have the time, we'd love for you to go check it out. If you have the money, the funds, we'd love for you guys to help. If not, maybe you could send a link to somebody else who can help. We thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Press the off button.